we are students, teachers of the master teacher, and we get our information from him through through his books, and that's for example one of the books we have that we study in order to gain our information. Today we're here to give you a presentation on how tones and frequencies affect our health. And we're going to start off with a few definitions. First of all, what is vibration? Vibration is movement to and fro. Can be rapid movement to and fro or oscillation. And what we've learned is that vibration is everything and everything vibrates. We are taught that there are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas, or what we perceive to be solid, because in actuality nothing is actually solid. It's just vibrating at a different rate to something that appears to be liquid or something that appears to be gas. So everything vibrates. And we in ourselves, in our own body, have our own vibration, have our own states, if you like. We have our solid in terms of bone, we have our liquid, blood, and we have our gas, which is our brain. Okay, next, what is sound? Well, vibration produces waves, and some of these waves can be picked up by the human ear, and that is what we label as sound.
And tone is a musical or vocal sound in reference to a pitch quality or strength, and frequency is the recurrence of a vibration or a wave, waves per second.
Our ancestors have recorded the resonant chord of this planet to be F sharp, and as weapons, which currently are, we attain to get back to being in tune with the planet, to get back to that F sharp chord. Okay, we live in a city, and I think most people here, or at least some, live in a city, and we're used to hearing sounds that are unnatural: car horns, alarms, those sort of sounds which are not natural to us. Nature has its own sounds. If we look at the pyramids of Giza and take Khufu's Mir, for example, which is one of the pyramids, there is wind blowing through the pyramid all the time, and it creates a vibration. The vibration is too low to be picked up by the human ear, but nevertheless it is there. It's similar to if you take a bottle and blow over it, you hear that sound. It's similar to that, except for the pyramids, our ears can't pick up that sound, but it's there. And nature produces sounds for us all the time. Rainforest noise, for example, but birds tweeting, rain, the wind rushed in through the trees. I think there's an example here. Some calming sound. That's the sound from a rainforest. It sounds I don't often hear. I live in Edmonton, and the sounds I hear are very different. Lots of police sirens, but we won't go into that. This is a natural sound which we've been starved of, really, and and that starvation of those natural sounds can have an effect on your vibration. What I also say is that sound has become so important that the NHS has a therapy now called sound therapy that they use as a healing device in order to help heal people normally that have an illness of the brain or mental illness rather than physical. But as we are going to, as we should know really, the mental is very much connected to the physical.
Another example of how we are in tune with nature is the quartz crystal, which is formed deep within the earth through silicon dioxide molecules spiraling together, sort of trapped in each other. And basically, when given a certain stimulus, this crystal will vibrate, chant or sing, and we can receive that energy and convert it into information, and vice versa. The crystal can read us and store information, so we sort of know it as nature's USB in a sense.
We We cannot be other than what we are. I'm an African. I can't be anything else. Europeans can be European, Asians can be Asians. We can try to imitate other races, but we are what we are. And as such, I was born in England. I speak English. I'm speaking English to you today. Language is very important. As we said, everything is vibration. Language is vibration. Every time you speak, you're sending up a vibration. Language, English is not the language of Africans, the natural language that we had from ancient times, years ago. You know, the tone, everything has a tone. The names we are called. Normally we have, I was given several names. I'm from an African family, so I was given an English name and a couple of African names. And I knew by which name I was called whether or not I was in trouble. You know, you don't get in trouble much, sometimes. But I knew by which name I was called whether or not I was in trouble. So if I was called by my African name, it was a good thing. If I was called by my English name, yeah. But it sends off the tone, and we know that. We know when someone calls us by the way they call us. Even if 3 people call your name, and they each have a different tone, it sets off different emotions in us. We know that, so we know vibration is important. And why does it set off different tones? Because we're all vibration. Another vibration will affect you.
So, in one of kind of Babylon's scrolls, called a Patarak, which means the way. This one, the particular one, is called your name. He gives us a good analogy for vibrations, which is the tuning chord. Say you lay out tuning chords in the C scale, so that would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you strike the first one, which would be the C note. The vibration will pass through all the other notes, but will be picked up by the next C note, because they're on the same wavelength. It's a vibration. This can relate back to us. Say if someone calls your name, everyone in the room with that same name is going to have a reaction, because it's the same wavelength, the same vibration, living or dead, in different planes. So that's how vibrations go. That's why it's so important, the name you choose, what name you pick for your child, it can affect that vibration. Another way language can have an effect on us, in English in particular, is the hidden meanings behind it. As Africans, we're known as black, and Caucasians are known as white. And we can see the words associated with black and white. Words like angry, threatening, wicked are associated with black, whereas innocent, untainted is associated with white, or a white lie is a harmless untruth. So it would definitely have a subliminal effect on us. For sure.
Thoughts are waves and frequencies, because they're vibration, because everything is vibration. So the way you think can have an effect on you, what you think can have an effect on you. We often hear motivational speakers saying, visualize your goal. And why do they say that? Because they want you to see something that can manifest. So you can see by that sort of thing that you can take a thought and eventually make it into reality. It doesn't work instantaneously, because I've tried it. I've thought of chocolate cake. It did not appear in front of me. It would have been vegan and organic, but it still didn't come. So I think it takes a bit more work. But thought can manifest. We've often also, you know, when you're sick, when you feel sick in your mind, it can manifest into feeling sick in your body. We've all heard the term when you worry so much it makes you ill. It's just acknowledging within the language that we know thoughts can affect us physically. So the mental can manifest into the physical. So be careful what you wish for. Music also can affect. Music is one of the major things that affects our vibration. It can affect the way we feel. It can affect our actions. Obviously, or subliminally. We go to the cinema and watch films. We go to the cinema and watch films. We have no control over the music that plays in those films. They may be on our vibration or not. Youths play games. I have nothing against the games. I'll play a little Wii when I can. But games have noises, music. And some of them actually are quite, for me personally, quite unsettling. Some of the music that's accompanied with games. Again, sometimes we think we're turned off to this, but whether subconsciously or consciously, the music does affect you. That's just an example. That might resonate with something, but it doesn't with me. So you know, that's just an example of. We found worse, but we didn't want to inflict it on you. So that's just an example of some music that us personally do not find it doesn't vibrate on the same level as me. It's not my kind of music.
Even the music we listen to has changed over the past 4 years. Back then it would have been more reggae, African music, soul music. These days it's more electronic, pop music, what's in the charts, all that. So it's progressed, and if we move on to the next slide, I'm just going to compare. This is a digital wave and an analog wave. Basically music these days are more digital. What digital is it's computer programmed waves. So we work in sort of zeros and ones, which is binary code. It'd be converting information. And analog is more of a natural wave through electrical voltages and currents. And we can see the digital wave is very, like, the analog wave is more flowing. It's very square, it's all squares. It's imitation, so it's trying to imitate analog, but it never really can. And if we move to the next slide, this is comparing a digital wave on top of an analog wave. And basically, the higher the frequency, the better the sample rate, so the better the digital imitation will be, but it will never be quite it. If you notice there's gaps, no matter how much better it gets, there's still gaps, so it will never fill in the analog wave. And moving on from that, we hear more of this digital stuff in the music industry. Now, I think most of us know the music industry is run by the Caucasians, or what we call that. And what they will get is Africans who will promote their image or their music, as we can witness in this next slide. Is that African? I don't know. If we move to the next slide, another good example of someone who compromised their image to fit into the music industry was Rihanna. When she first came onto the scene, she was fresh from the West Indies, more reggae, soulful music. As time progressed, she became more cocky. Her third album was called Good Girl Gone Bad, which I think says it all. And this is just a demonstration of some of her later music. Some of you may not know what I love personally.
Really not to my taste. Very
electronic, that would be all our tune.
So true, yeah.
It's not designed to vibrate.
That's not my thing.
You look like you like it. Anyway, moving on. Now we're going to play a piece of music that we think resonates more with us. It's just Lauryn Hill with her guitar, as analog as you can get. Well, this is a recording of it, so it's not completely. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can hear it. That's what For those of you at the front, you can hear it. But if you, it's a more natural sound to us. It's just her singing with her guitar, which we've gone so far away from now in the music industry. Some things are beneficial. I know my children are musicians and they do use such devices like as Cubase, but they always start with the piano first or the drum first to try and get that analog sound. But you can't get away from those things. But it's just maybe now and again to just go back to nature, just go back to natural sound, because it does your vibration well to hear natural sounds. And as we've said, a low vibration means you're susceptible to illness. Illness actually vibrates lower than our natural, as Africans, our natural high vibration. Illness vibrates lower than that. So when we lower our vibrations, we're more susceptible to catching illnesses. One of the other things that can affect our vibration is food. Now, we've said everything is vibration, so even food is vibration, and different people vibrate slightly differently, so different foods will vibrate with you. As Nuwapians, we try to stick to a more vegan diet because our master teacher has informed us that that is going to be better for us. So that's what we try to stick to. And I've heard today that all the food is vegan. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm out there soon, so and that's a good thing. And also, our host Leah is a natural youth coach, and she works with individuals to try and find what suits them individually when it comes to food, and health, and so on. So what in effect that overall thing is finding your own vibration. What vibrates with you? What will make you vibrate as high as you can? Summary, coming towards the end now, summary of what can affect your vibration. The food you eat can affect your vibration. The music you listen to can definitely affect your vibration.
Also, earlier I forgot to mention, with the digital way, it's not just music, even in TV, they're pushing digital broadcasting, 3D TVs, 3D movies, so it's everywhere. So they're really trying to enforce that on us, but the music is very important because we're always surrounded by sound and music.
And again, because we're all vibration, the company you keep is important because everybody sends off a vibration. We all know we've been in that situation where we've gone and we've spoken to someone come like, ill. Yeah, they really sacked me. They took my energy. You know, we've been in that situation where someone's just not good for us, really. We've also, conversely,
on the other end of the scale, you might meet someone and say, oh, it's like we're on the same wavelength. And it literally is. You're on the same wavelength or frequency, or you might vibe with someone. What's vibe short for? Vibration. So it literally can affect you that way.
Okay, that's us really. That's what we've come here to present to you. We are Nuwapians. We have classes. If you've got any questions, we have classes in London every Saturday, 6:30 to 8:30.
CBA, Croydon, Greater London. All eyes on Egypt Store, Brixton Market, Brixton, London. And all eyes on Egypt Store in Dawson, London, Brixton Market.
And just to finish off, we'd like to leave you with a slight clip of the music we personally find vibrates on our level. And hopefully you'll hear a little bit of this after, but this is just a small clip of what is our assistant. Oh yeah, you can't hear it. You can't hear it. You'll hear it later though.
The djembe drum, African drum.
But we'll do later. But yeah, that's us.
Yeah, question there from the lady.
There's a more like passing. Do you not do any classes there?
They're not connected to us.
Swiftly moving on. Next question.
There is more like going on.
But yeah, it's not something. It's not one I'm familiar with. I know there's one there. From what we've learned, the 3D is artificial, unless it's real. I don't even think we actually see in 3D, but that's something I would need to study more on. But I don't think we actually see 3D. Our brain just converts what we see into look as 3D. But artificial, yeah, we are, because we only see one side of a person. I can't see behind you, so that's not true 3D. But our brain fills in the gaps. seeing something in 3D, it's just the fact that it's artificial and digital, and therefore has an effect on us. We need to get back to more natural environment, more natural sounds, and more natural things that we watch. For me personally, I really don't like the 3D thing. It gives me a headache.
It's very much in your face.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, guys, we're going to have to wrap up one more time. A round of applause.